Everyone, welcome to movie review part 20. Man, I can't believe we're already on the 20th one. So that means, what is that? So 5 times 20, what is that? I'm terrible at math. 100, I think. Yeah, dang, that's crazy. Already 100 shows and movies together. That's crazy. But let's start off with the shows and movies we have today. So the first TV series we have is Monster, the Ed Gein story, which is rated R, or my bad, not rated R, rated TVMA, came out in 2025 and is one season and 8 episodes. Now the cast of Monster, the Ed Gein stories we have is Charlie Hunnam, who's in The Gentleman, Pacific Rim, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, and we also have Laurie Metcalf, who's in Lady Bird, Scream 2, and Uncle Buck. We also have Susanna Sun, who's in Red Rocket, The Idol, and What on Earth. And we also have Leslie Manville, who's in Cold Storage, Back to Black, and All or Nothing. Now, the plot of Monster the Ed Gein story is a schizophrenic Wisconsin grave robber. Robber's mother just passed away, and now he's on his own. Watch as Charlie Hunnam loses his mind as the monster Ed Gein. Critic opinion: this was a really good horror series. It felt weird and creepy watching it. It had weird humor that made it funny, and at the same time, very unique and different. And what I did like is it wasn't completely based on a true story, but it did follow some things that happened within some that was true. So not everything in it is true, but I'll get into that in a moment. Final score rating that the monster Ed Gein gets is 8 out of 10. It didn't really capture the true side of Ed Gein, but that's just the way Hollywood makes movies. So remember watching this is not everything just remember watching this that not everything is true. Streaming platforms that Ed Gein Monster is on is Netflix. Now, our next one is another Monster TV series called Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, which is rated TVMA, came out in 2022, one season and 10 episodes. Now, the cast of Monster Jeffrey Dahmer stories we have is Evan Peters, who's in Tron Ares and Kick-Ass 1 and 2, and The Beauty. We also have Niecy Nash, who's in Reno 911, Miami, Origin, and Uncorked. We also have Richard Jenkins, who's in Step Brothers, DTF St. Louis, and The Visitor. We also have Molly Ringwald, who's in The Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, and 16 Candles. Now, plot of Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story is a serial killer has just been caught, and he tells the whole story to the cops with horrific captions that will have you distrusted and intrigued all at the same time. Watch as Evan Peters plays one of the most horrific serial killers to ever live as Jeffrey Dahmer. Critic opinion: this series is crazy, man. It shows what Dahmer did to his victims in graphic details, and you can't look away not a single moment. Final score rating: 8 out of 10. This film series is incredibly shocking. It's a story that's been told numerous of times, but just this time, it's been transacted with actors and special effects. Wow. Streaming platforms that Monster Jeffrey Dahmer is on Netflix. Now, our next we have is a movie, which is Toy Story 5. Now, Toy Story 5 is rated PG, came out in 2026, and is 1 hour and 42 minutes long. Now, the cast of Toy Story 5 is Tom Hanks, who's in Castaway, Big, and A League of Their Own. We also have Joan Cusack, who's in School of Rock, Addams Family, and Working Girls. We also have Tim Allen, who's in TV series Home Improvement, and the Santa Claus trilogy, and Wild Hogs. We also have Greta Lee, who's in Tron Ares, Sisters, and Problemista. Now, the plot of Toy Story 5 is Bonnie is having a hard time making new friends, so her parents get her a lily pad. But the rest of the toys aren't so happy about Lily taking most of Bonnie's playtime, so watch as Jessie, the cowgirl, tries to make things right with the help of Woody and Buzz, including old and new friends. Critic opinion: this movie was just plain okay. The jokes didn't really land that hard, but the story was really good and the character development was spot on, but the story felt plain itself. Final score rating that Toy Story 5 gets is a solid 6 out of 10. I do believe that Toy Story 5 could have been better because the new characters weren't that bad at all, but other than that, streaming platforms that Toy Story 5 is right now is at your local theaters. Now, our next one we have is a series which is called Squid Game. And Squid Game is rated TVMA, which is 17 and older. And the series is from 2021 to 2025 with 3 seasons and 22 episodes. Now, the cast of Squid Game we have is Gong-yo, who's in Train to Busan, Silenced, and The Trunk. We also have Lee Jung-Jae, who's in Nice to Meet You, New World, and Hunt. We also have Lee Byung-hun, I hope I said that right, who's in No Other Choice, Mr. Sunshine, and I Saw the Devil. We also have Ha-Joon, who's in TV series Bad and Crazy, TV series Gyeongseon Creature, and The Midnight Romance in Hagwon. Now, the plot of Squid Game: a secret organization runs a game competition where contestants play deadly children's games to win a grand prize of 45.6 billion won. Watch as players lose their mind and sanity and become desperate just to survive and to win the lottery. Critic opinion: this series is so freaking good. I had to binge watch it without ever taking a break. Now I honestly thought this was just another murder series with plain kills, boring action, but the story, the dialogue, and the development was just fantastic. The final score rating that Squid Game gets is an 8.5 out of 10. Now the story is a pretty biased Now, this is a pretty biased opinion on why I believe the score isn't higher, but this is your own opinion kind of debate. The show deserves more episodes and more spin-offs. Now, they might ruin it this way, which is understandable why the creator ended it on the 3rd season, but this show was just phenomenal. And honestly, I feel like it should be opened up to more streaming platforms instead of Netflix, including The Monsters, Ed Gein story, and the Jeffrey Dahmer. I think it should be in more streaming platforms than just Netflix, just in my opinion. But other than that, let's get on to our final movie that we have for today, which is Jackass Best and Last. Jackass Best and Last is rated R, came out in 2026, and is 1 hour and 32 minutes long. Now, the cast of Jackass Best and Last is Johnny Knoxville, who's in TV series Fear Factor, the Dukes of Hazzard movie, and Men in Black 2. We also have Stephen Glover, aka Steve-O, who's in Guest House, Game Over Man, and the Dudesons movie. We also have Jason Acuna, aka Wee Man, who's in Elfman, Grind, and Death to the Supermodels. We also have Chris Pontius, who's in Action Point, Wild Boys, and National Lampoon's TV series, or TV the movie. National Lampoon's TV the movie. Now, plot of Jackass Best and Last is, it's the end, of course. Or is it? At what is considered to be their last performance after over 25 years of stupid, dangerous stunts, all for laughs and entertainment of others, the group is finally ready to retire with a walk down memory lane and some new stupid stunts. Critic opinion that Jackass Best and Last gets. Critic opinion is, this movie was bad in the sense that it showed all reruns of their best work, and there is new stunts, but only a few, considered most of the film was just old footage. Now, final score rating that Jackass Best and Last gets is a 3.5 out of 10. After what I said, I will say they show a stunt that was one of Knoxville's very first ever recorded for the show Jackass, and it was incredibly stupid. But other than that, it wasn't really a good show because, like I said, it played reruns. So, just my opinion, I think that they should have done more stunts, or with the new cast members, the younger cast members, to continue on the Jackass series, but that's for another stories. Streaming platforms that Jackass Best and Last is at your local theaters. All right, well, I guess that's it for today's episode. Hope you all enjoyed the five TV series and movies. Hope to see y'all within the next time. Hopefully within a week, not 2 weeks. Other than that, please like and subscribe if you want more of this content. And other than that, check out my live streams where I'll try to play Chivalry and not get my butt kicked. And also check out some of the interviews that I have that I just came up with Avoid and Jihad, the Arad. So check them out. Really cool videos. Other than that, peace.